The Edge of Fate expansion and Rite of the Nine are just around the corner, and today I'll be covering a build that has been my favorite Warlock build in the game for the past year. This build is also future-proof, so I won't even be covering the artifact perks in this build since you won't need them anyways. First, we'll be talking about the weapons that I'm using with this build to maximize its efficiency. I'm using Lost Signal with no hesitation for my kinetic and energy slots. The role I am using on Lost Signal is auto-loading holster and demolitionist for more healing grenade buildup and hot swaps between your kinetic and energy weapon. No hesitation's role is Physic, allowing you to gain restoration for yourself and allies when you heal them with the weapon, and also Circle of Life, getting you a 25% damage buff for up to 11 seconds with the enhanced version. For your heavy slot, you can use whatever you want here, but I love using Microcosm as it is one of the strongest single target damage heavies in the game and absolutely melts enemies such as Tormentors and Subjugators. Now let's move on into the subclass information. Firstly, on my super, I would recommend using Well of Radiance or Song of Flame. For the class ability, you can use either Healing Rift or Phoenix Dive, but I personally prefer Phoenix Dive for the faster cooldown for more uptime on my Solar Soul. For your melee, I recommend using Incinerator Snap for the ignition, as it's another way to pump out some damage with the build that sacrifices a lot of that for the healing and support. Now for your grenade, I recommend using the Healing Grenade, of course, that is buffed by your Exotic Helmet Speaker's Sight. The first aspect we'll be using is Touch of Flame. Second aspect is Hellion, which is going to be your main overall source of damage that will scorch and thus ignite targets passively. Now the first fragment is the most powerful, Ember of Benevolence. Next is Ember of Ashes. You apply more scorch stacks to targets. Next is Ember of Torches. Powered melee attacks against combatants make you and nearby allies radiant. Next is Ember of Empyrean. Solar weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. Tier 10 resilience for that 30% damage resistance. Then also Discipline tier 10 for the grenade recharge, and also tier 8 recovery at least for your class ability recharge. Now on your helmet, I recommend running Heavy Ammo Finder, Heavy Ammo Scout, and a Siphon mod. On your gauntlets, I recommend running Impact Induction, Grenade Kickstart, and then I personally like running Fastball just to have the extended range for your healing grenade throws. Now on your chest piece, again, I always recommend running 3 damage resistance mods. I really don't ever see a point in not doing that because you need to maximize the damage resistance here, especially since you're not going to be running something like Woven Mail or Frost Armor. It's really just going to be Restoration and Cure. Next, we have Innervation, Recuperation, and Stacks on Stacks. Now lastly, on the Warlock bond, we're going to be running Bomber, Powerful Attraction, and Reap.